Hi, Kudzanai Jena. Nice to speak to you today.
Hi, how are you, Isabel? Nice to speak to you too.
Right, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's really good to have you here. I'm excited to hear more about your journey to ACCA qualification, and looking forward to also finding out how ACCA-X contributed to your exam success. So I know that you've now qualified as an ACCA member, which is fantastic. So let's start by asking, what made you choose the ACCA qualification?
Okay, so I've always wanted to be a business professional, and I knew from the onset that becoming an auditor would sort of become the inroads for me to become a business professional. So I decided to choose ACCA because I had done my research and I figured out that ACCA is a great, rewarding course that actually has international recognition. So I decided to choose ACCA.
Brilliant. And can you tell us a little bit about your current role?
Okay, currently I'm an audit senior at Grant Thornton in Zimbabwe, where I'm responsible for leading the audit of my clients, meaning that the businesses that I'll be given as the audit senior to audit. And I'm also under that role, I'm also responsible for coaching and mentoring audit assistants, the new guys that will be coming through. And on a part-time basis, usually in the evenings, I'm responsible for teaching audit and assurance at an ACCA platinum rated institution. So those are my two roles.
Wow, very great. So do you think that the ACCA qualification helped you reach those career goals?
Yes, indeed. Like I said in the beginning, my goal was to become a business professional, and with ACCA, it has actually helped me to meet a number of business people. So, meaning that my network nationally and internationally has grown, and that will set a good foundation for me to become a very good business professional in the near future.
Yeah, so good to hear that you've succeeded in your aims, and
Thank you.
I want to now just have I want to now have a look at the beginning of your journey, because I know that you started your journey to ACCA qualification learning with the ACCA-X courses. How do you think that the courses helped you prepare for the exams, and what did you like most about learning with ACCA-X?
Okay, so with ACCA-X, initially I had early in my childhood, in my life, I had intended to become a medical doctor. So I'd spent lots of time exploring the sciences world, not the accounting world. I had actually sort of, ignored it, so to speak. Then, when I now wanted to become, when I wanted to become an ACCA student, I then joined with ACCA-X, and they have, the platform is very interactive. They have well understandable notes, interactive, and also well explaining videos from industry experts that sort of help me to learn and understand accounting in an easier or better way than I could have ever imagined. So I think they really help me to learn and understand accounting better.
That's great to hear. Yeah, we do really value interactivity and accessibility within the courses, so I'm glad that that was something that you enjoyed.
Yes.
Thinking about then the ACCA exams themselves, what was your approach to booking an on-demand exam, for example? Did you choose an exam date and work towards it, or did you study and then book the exam once you felt ready?
Okay, so at first, for my first two modules, that's business and technology and management accounting, I studied towards them. Then when I felt ready, I then booked the exam. But for financial accounting, I studied with a deadline because I wanted to, to make it to the university in January. So I had sort of like a month. So I needed to speed up my study. And with ACCA-X, everything is actually made easier because it's easy to understand. I've then post my diploma, I then looked at the study text and the exam kits. I think I would still choose to use ACCA-X anytime. Anytime. Yeah.
That's so good to hear. And it's interesting that you tried both approaches towards the exam. Did you use ACCA resources when you were planning and studying for those exams?
So for my foundation level modules, so that's your business and technology, your management accounting and financial accounting, I use ACCA-X resources completely. Even I then I think on financial accounting is when I looked at the ACCA examining team articles. But for business and technology and management accounting, I use their notes, their videos, as well as their practice exam questions. It was enough for me. And I think for business and technology, if I'm not mistaken, I had something like 82 for the pass mark. And I've really compared, since I teach now, I've really compared with students that get to be taught in an institution and use the study text and exam kits. I think my marks were quite fairly better.
That's a really, really good achievement. We do try and encourage our learners as much as possible to practice. Question practice is key.
Yeah.
And we do offer as well ACCA-X learners the opportunity to access ACCA practice tests for free as well. So these are all it's really good to hear that you've made use of these resources and you ended up with such a fantastic exam result. So we're almost done with our conversation. So I have one more question for you, and that's if you could go back in time, what is the one piece of advice that you'd give yourself when you were starting out on your journey to ACCA qualification?
Okay, so looking back in time, I would tell myself to persevere up until I finish and never at any point in time feel like I need to take a break, because the moment you feel you need to take a break, that's the moment that you can actually then obtain lower marks in your exams. And if you're not careful enough, you can then end up failing. So I think the key thing is to persevere and work hard towards completing your exams.
I think this will be really inspiring for other learners who are just starting out, and it can seem like a long road, but you're proof that you can get there. And like you say, persevere, keep motivated, and one day the learners watching this will be able to be in the same position as you. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and it's great, like I said, to hear how you used ACCA-X courses to achieve your goals. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.